You are listening to the Pencil and Paper Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Palace of Mega Pencils. This is Super Mega Crash Brothers Turbo!
Well, hello, and welcome to Super Mega Crash Brothers Turbo. I'm your host, Stephen White, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Lacey Finley.
Well, happy Monday.
Welcome to autumn. We're
Right?
autumn times, and you know what? The
We
world, or at least the what do you call it? The nature, Mother Nature seems to be
Yes.
on the same page.
Following along.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Nice
we
and
definitely,
cool.
we were like hot, and then it was like, here's fall the next day, and I'm like, okay. So you instantly just turn off the AC units, and then you get that nice little break for a couple of weeks where hopefully you don't have to have anything on.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe save a buck or two that month on energy.
Yeah, those are my
That's always the
favorites.
hope.
When you get that electric bill and it's like half of what it was before, and you're just like, man, God.
Yeah, we have
why
gas
not?
heating, so with that prices now, I'm hoping we can wait till super late to turn that on.
Yeah. You know,
I bet that's skyrocketed.
it's funny because the electric company, I don't know how it works up in Chicago, but down here, our electric company, they had sent me something to say, you know, every month your electric bill can fluctuate because of the temperatures and what have you, and they have this program that sounds good on paper, but then I think about it from a certain perspective, and I'm like, I don't know. What it is you can set it up to where you pay a fixed amount every month, okay, no matter what you spend. And that is your bill, period. So if you went high, you're still going to pay that. If you went low, you're still going to pay that. And it's like it manages the difference over the year. So if you overpay or underpay, it's like that money that you overpaid will then go into what you underpaid and then kind of cancel it out. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. So it's just flat, whatever you use, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So again, in theory, it sounds great because those months where I have like an estimated amount that I kind of plan for. So when it's less than, it's always nice because I'm like, okay, yeah, all right. So now I can
just save a
allocate
couple
some of this over here for
Right.
whatever. But then I think about it and I'm like, so if I do this fixed amount, then yeah, I know what I'm going to be paying every month. But then I don't get that fluctuation that I can kind of either enjoy or have to manage. So I don't know. It's hard
To me, that's weird because I would think that they would also say that you wouldn't be allowed to set your thermostat above a certain temp or something to keep you regulated on how much energy you actually use, so it'll benefit them because let's be real, they're a big corporation, so it's not like they're trying to help you out. So this is going to benefit them somehow.
Yeah.
Because I'm such a positive outlooking person that...
And see, and that's what I'm talking about, because if I said that this was the amount that I'm going to be paying every month, and I know that I'm not, because I'm very, very particular about, you know, my electric bill, how much electricity, like if there's a light on, you know, my kid, she likes to run around and just leave lights. It's like, go turn that off, will you? You know?
They're good for that, though. They're good for
Exactly.
that. Lights on, forget to turn them off. Yep.
But I feel like if you're just paying the same amount, you're just going to get, you know, blasé about it and be going,
True. Just kind of go nuts, right?
Because
leave them all on.
But again, at the end of the day, you're still going to be paying the amount that you overcharged eventually, because they're going to get you for that. Mm-hmm. So
they're not a charity. They're not going to keep just giving you free energy. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So
especially when we're in an energy shortage, you know.
So it has to get paid. They're going to get their money. End of story. That's that. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I like
that's
playing.
a tough one.
loosey-goosey with it, just I'll pay
Well,
what's right.
I guess you got to look at it too is how often do you go over a certain amount?
Yeah.
Would it be worth it for you? Would you be saving money more?
Right. See, there are maybe 2 or 3 months a year that it probably goes over what I'm looking at. And those are like the really hot days or the really cold days. But we recently got a brand new heating and air unit.
Oh, yeah.
And according to the people who installed it, whoever put it in initially in the house did it wrong, which could explain a lot of things.
Sure.
And it was mind-boggling when you hear that. They're like, so we've been running this wrong since the day we moved in. But even prior before we moved in, other people have suffered because of somebody else's mistake.
Apparently it wasn't a regulation, I guess, until now or something for them to still insure the house, sell it to you, you know? I'm sure you had inspectors. Insurance isn't going to let you not,
Yeah, it was mind-boggling when we heard that. It was like, you've got to be shitting me,
Yeah,
all this time. And honestly, it does make sense because ever since we got the new unit, the house would struggle to maintain a certain temperature, especially on very hot days.
Sure.
Not anymore. No, it gets right up to temp where it needs to. Is it difference
of placement too? Did they used to come from the ceiling maybe? Now you have them from the floor, or did that change at all?
No, all that stayed the same, but what did change, and I'm not really sure why they didn't try to fix this or maybe why they couldn't. It didn't make any sense to me, so I was just like, whatever, just as long as we're comfortable, I'm fine, just make it happen. But for some reason, and we've always had this problem, the airflow never seems to get to our bedroom. As if there's a problem there. But what they did is they split the difference. So everything from the living areas to the back bedrooms and the offices, those get the heating and air. And then they put a secondary unit in our room. So it gets its own centralized unit.
Ooh, nice.
And now we don't have to worry about it being too hot or too cold. And I'm actually curious to see how it works in the wintertime because we've yet to try the heating system. So I'm anxious to see how well that works.
You might have to maybe get lucky and keep it lower.
Yeah.
Like it'll work just more efficiently. Of course, I'm sure it has to do with how much, your house already has in it as far as, what's the word I'm looking for? Insulation.
Yeah.
Like how well does it keep that?
Yeah.
The windows will make a huge difference. Like there's so many variables.
Oh, I have no doubt that our house could be insulated better. We definitely need new windows. It's just getting the money to do it.
Is it that bad down there though? I always find that it is geography plays a huge part in it because if you're just not set up for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Then they're not built with it, and then
it's not that bad. I mean, when the freak weather comes through, which it always does, you have those increasingly hot days. It's just like, God, I don't want to be out here. Or the
freak snowstorm.
Oh yeah, or the snowstorm like we had back early January this year. It was just like ice just said, "Hey, boom."
Oh, I know. I picked that time to go visit my sister in Arkansas thinking I'm being smart and running away from Chicago in January and ended up basically driving in snow the whole time. Then coming back, driving back through the snow in East Arkansas. I was like, oh, cool. Oh, cool. So it's just all the way down here now, and I get to have a 17-hour trip in snow. This is fantastic. Cool.
Woo.
Cool.
Yeah, we all love the ice. In fact, that day, I'm glad nothing happened. Nothing bad happened. And it was a lucky day. Let me just say that. But I remember the day that ice storm hit because I was at work and I just started seeing it come down and I was like, nope, I gotta go home. And
I already know how these people are.
Yeah, and out of it. In the back of my head, I knew it was coming. But when I got up that morning, it was clear.
Sure.
But something was just nagging me in my head. It's just like, dude, just stay home. Just stay home. But then the other part of me was just like, yeah, but the roads are clear, and if I don't go, then so I didn't know. And I really wish I'd have just stuck to my gut and just stayed home because I didn't.
They let you?
Huh?
Would they let you because of weather? Like, I don't know how.
I mean, they couldn't have stopped me because I could just call in and be like, I'm not coming in because I just, and, I'd take a hit
PTO.
for vacation or whatever, but still, it was just, I should have just done that. I should have just trusted my gut so I didn't have to drive in it. It was not a fun, I don't like driving in ice.
No, it sucks.
And the roads, I swear, they got covered.
Do you guys have salt? Do you salt?
But they're so slow on the salting. Yeah, they came out and started doing it, but I mean, this was like sheet of ice just hit the road.
Yeah.
Bam!
Well, they have to get ahead of it.
Yeah, no, they
like
were.
That is the nice thing about, I guess, living in the north. We're so used to it that they're out there salting. Like, if we even get an idea, we think anything might happen the next day or whatever. So the underside of all of northern cars are garbage.
Yeah.
Sorry, you probably, if you live in the south, you don't want to buy a used car from the north. Probably just don't. But yeah,
No,
yeah, we
I
have
remember
it everywhere.
I remember being in Baltimore one year that there was a big snowstorm had hit up north because it was like for a work trip, and I freaked out because I was just like, "Holy shit!" Because they were talking. It was like, "No, this is going to be bad. There's going to be a huge snowstorm rolling in," and this is supposed to be like next to the last day where we were in town. So it was like, "Oh God, not now!" What?
Right?
So this thing hit, and again, I had never been up north when all this stuff happened, but like you said, they were on it. So once the sun came up and everybody was just kind of, eased out a little bit, we got to the main roads. Oh, salt trucks and big trucks were just out there moving it aside, getting it going. Everybody was just moving. I was like, wow, this is efficient.
Yeah.
So
We're just used to it.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice.
Because we don't shut down for nothing.
No, I've noticed.
That we really don't. Like, when I lived in Southern Illinois, it's a huge difference. Because in Southern Illinois, I feel like it might be normal as to anywhere else. You got a ridiculous amount of snow. You had a school day or, things like that. Chicago, they're just like, yeah, cool story, leave early.
Yeah.
Seriously. The only time I've ever even seen schools close here was the 2 winter vortexes we had when the temperature dipped below -40. And it was too dangerous for kids to sit outside waiting for buses. That's the only time I've ever seen it closed. Blizzards, just leave early. Anything else, ice storms, you name it, who gives a shit? You're going to school.
Wow.
We closed for nothing. But when it got to -40, they were like, yeah, okay, maybe we don't want your kids to die waiting at the bus stop.
Well, that was nice of them.
Yeah, at least there was something.
No, down here, the moment there's even a thought of it, they're just like, nope, canceled, go.
Roll up the sidewalks, we're done. Yeah. I loved to make fun of you, but then thinking about it, if you're not used to it, you're not set up with this.
Yeah.
You probably don't have salt trucks on reserve like we do by the millions of pounds or whatever. But it is hilarious when my niece calls me from Louisiana that they shut the whole state down over like an inch of snow. And I'm like, I need a minute before I feel bad for you. Just give me a moment, Everyone's, how do I get it off my windshield? I'm like, Jesus Christ. It's like they all went idiot instant.
Yeah. No, it's terrible down here when the snow hits.
Yeah.
But I think, again, it goes back to, like you said, we're not all that equipped for it because it doesn't happen as often. Because it does seem to be a little bit more of a common occurrence now, I've noticed. Here recently, it's been, there would usually be a gap. I think the last big snowstorm that we had that was really, really bad was like prior to 2020, maybe. I'm going to use that as a gauge. Then it was maybe like 8 years back. Because I think my wife and I, it was the week before our anniversary. And I had planned to take that week off for us to have, an anniversary celebration. The week prior to that, it snowed. And I mean bad. We were trapped in our house for a week.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So by the end of the week, it was just like, we've got to get to the grocery store somehow.
Right.
Because we are running out.
Milk and bread.
And so I essentially had 2 weeks of work off because I couldn't get out. And then I was already scheduled to be off. So it was like, well, I guess I'm taking this week. So,
there you go.
But it was a gap before we had yet another bad snowstorm. And then, like I said, earlier this year, we had that one ice storm come through, but it only maybe lasted a day or two that we really couldn't get loose or get free.
Yeah.
And so it's starting to come together. So I'm kind of hoping it'll
We might
miss
need
us
to
this
start
year.
making some plans. Yeah.
Yeah, I
think a lot of southern states that are starting to see this a little bit more might need to start taking that into consideration and start upgrading some things.
Yeah.
Because,
I really wish
know?
they would.
when we keep saying this isn't normal every year, you might need to reassess what your new normal is and start preparing for it, so it's not always a state of emergency every time it happens.
Sure.
You know, and I'm not saying that can happen overnight. That might take several years because you're going to have to start hiring people and get all of that stuff going. You know,
Yeah.
up here they love it. I know so many people that used to just like buy those snow trucks because they would get so much extra cash during the winter. They'd freaking love it. They're praying for snow because they can go out there and plow and make so much extra cash, you know? So there you go. It could be new jobs for the South.
Yeah. So
Job creation, the snow.
I've got a few things I want to bring up, and I'm trying to figure out how to approach it first. I think I'm going to talk about this first, and then I'm going to bounce to something else, and I'm going to get to the other three things. I say three because they're kind of intertwined in a way.
Okay.
First of all, I just want to say to all the people who have been checking out our Sonic the Hedgehog 2 episode.
Oh,
I
is
don't
it still
know-
going? It's funny.
I don't know. Like, I'm not complaining. I appreciate every single one of you who have listened to this episode. If you were
course,
one of the
yes.
few who have listened to it and you enjoyed it, thank you. But
Yeah.
I have noticed this weird uptick in this episode, and I
I gotta go
have,
back and listen to it. What goal did we have?
I don't know.
We were
But
just on fire.
it is one of our, right now, since we have moved over to Anchor, it has become
okay.
our top episode ever.
Interesting.
Ever.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's bizarre. And I have
Hey,
no
there
explanations.
You go. We figured it out, Steven. We're now a Sonic 2 podcast.
I guess we are. We're going to talk about Sonic 2 all the time.
Yeah, Sonic, Mega, Crash Brothers,
Yep.
Turbo.
And then,
Yep.
so every episode from here on out, we're just going to talk about Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Just at
Only
random.
2.
Yeah, only part
No
2.
other thing.
We're just going to reiterate our thoughts and feelings of the movie
On 2. Every week.
every week.
Every week.
So,
I'm just going to watch it once a week so we can have new thoughts and ideas.
and
about it,
so we
and-
get the listens, because if this is
Exactly.
the one that's the most popular, then we've got to jump on this bandwagon, and we have to continue to do the
Maybe
thing
we've just got
that
to
people
break
want to
down
hear.
the movie frame by frame and create a whole year. There we go. We're done. We were trying to figure out if we had any new direction.
This is
The
it.
people have spoken.
The Sonic Minute. That's what we're going to call it.
Sonic Minute. There you go.
Yep. So we can break it down minute for minute. Because
By
I've seen
minute
these
for minute.
podcasts before, so that's what we're going to start doing. The Sonic Minute.
you go.
We're going to talk about it. So I guess to start off the Sonic Minute, we're just going to talk about the opening logo where we see the rings come in over the Paramount logo.
I mean, pretty accurate because I do remember seeing those in the games.
Mm-hmm.
And they
then-
were going fast, and
Yeah.
he was adorable.
And then they had the fancy little Sega logo, and it goes,
Yes,
Sega.
yes, very nostalgic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can remember that starting up a game.
What
I
about
mean,
that?
Come on.
And
Yeah.
that's how you start your movie? I mean, come on. You
That
like
is
that.
exactly the perfect way, especially if you played both. You're going to
Mm-hmm.
hit both in the feels. If you've not played the games, you're still just looking at a really cool frame.
Yeah. There you go. See, there's the Sonic Minute for this week.
There's the Sonic Minute.
It probably wasn't a minute, but that's all I can think of right at the beginning. So
right at the beginning.
that's all we're just going to break down. Just that little portion
Just
of the
one
movie
minute.
for now. We'll save the rest for the rest of the year. We probably won't even get through it because it's a long movie, and we've only got a
I
minute
don't know if we
to
have
talk
that many
about
minutes.
it. Yeah, we only got
many
a few
pods
minutes.
left.
Okay, so I want to tell you this story, and I want your opinion.
Okay.
So this week, a job offer came across my desk. It was just sliding over, and it was a video editor job. $60K a year.
Ooh.
And I was like,
a legit
okay. And I looked through what this thing was, all the details, and I thought, sign me up. I applied, put it in there. I get an email that redirects me to this website whose name I can't think of at the moment, but they want me to take a skill assessment test. Now, if it was for video editing, I'm like, okay, you just want to see what I can do. Maybe if I understand the ins and outs of video editing, sure, I got it, cool. this was a skill assessment to see how my cognitive functions work, how I work under pressure.
Okay.
50 questions in 15 minutes that have fuck all to do with video editing. This
sounds like just a personality test.
Yeah. You know,
Was it that?
So it's you have questions like, look at the patterns. Now, which pattern is next in line? Choose the word that best correctly fills in the blank for the sentence. So I guess to see if you understand grammar. Then what is this to this is like that to that. Or
so it wasn't like the Myers-Briggs test or something like that. It's just some random.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
So I was like, all right. And I tried not to get panicky because they were like, well, you can't get off your tab. All you can have is pencil and paper. Can't use calculators. Yeah. Okay, fine. Fair enough. So a lot of the questions, I'm sitting there writing them down, especially when it came to math. And it wasn't, not to say that it needed to be simple math, but it was the type of math questions that's going to take a little extra time because they'll say 3.5 of something is split up into X amount of hours. How many hours is it going to take to do this thing? So you're adding in a 0.5. You're adding in decimals. So that's going to take
Common Core. Can you do regular old math?
No, I did regular math. I did regular math. But what I had
like that I'm calling it regular math. Just like the one I knew, damn it.
The one we knew, yeah. Old math.
Old math.
And so as I was doing the math, I was trying, and maybe this was my fault, but I was trying to answer as many questions as I could. Okay?
Sure.
Because you're limiting my time. You're giving me 50 questions to answer.
Like back in high school.
So as I'm trying to do these math problems on paper, I'm also kind of, I don't want to say using shortcuts, but I'm trying to find a more efficient way. So I would kind of remove the decimal, do the basic math problem without it, and then kind of move it back in, and then kind of get an estimated value close to the answer, and then that's how it would answer. You see what I'm saying? So it was trying to move it along a little bit faster. Now, I know some people could probably do, I'm pretty good at math, but for the sake of this... I'm
not great with doing math in my head.
Right. For the sake of this, I was trying to streamline the process so I wasn't spending an extra amount of time.
Yeah, you wanted to get more questions done.
Yeah. So maybe that, I don't know, whatever it was, I apparently got into the 50th percent, and that was not good enough. I had to be an 85% to be a video editor.
Interesting. It almost makes me wonder what happened.
I don't know.
That made them feel this had to be a necessary step in their hiring process.
I don't know. Yeah.
We all get judged off the lowest denominator in our society. Mm-hmm. So it makes you wonder.
Well, see, and here's how I kind of looked at it, because as soon as I got done and they were just like, "Oh, you failed. You know, you didn't succeed in reaching the proper percentile that you were supposed to be in." I started, I got in my head and I was like, I felt stupid. Yeah. Because, you're telling me I wasn't good enough to do the job that I'm already doing, that I know how to do. But because I didn't
need math.
Meet the standards of your skill assessment, I'm not good enough. According to them, video editors an 85%.
Yeah, I don't. Well, that's not an area of entertainment I've ever tried to venture into. So this sounds extremely weird to me, but I don't know if that's a normal practice or not.
I don't either.
Something tells me no.
So
I've done a lot in the entertainment field just overall, and I've never heard of that, but I've never been like a behind the scenes person.
Yeah.
Really. So
I sat with it for a minute, and I like I said, I started feeling really stupid. Like I had just failed something that I should have known, that I should have gotten right. Yeah. And I felt bad. And then the longer I sat with it, I was like, you know what? Fuck them.
Right.
Okay. Because you're telling me that only people who can pass this, your stupid little cognitive quiz, your skill assessment that has fuck all to do with video editing
Sure.
are the only ones who are capable of editing video. Furthermore, there could be someone 10 times more talented than me on video editing, but has some sort of social barrier that when they are put within this situation, they go into panic mode because now you have boxed them in to do this quiz and their brain doesn't function. They can do they could edit videos like a champ. Mm-hmm. But the moment they're faced with this, they shut down because it's like, nope. I can't. The pressure is just too much. But video editing, that's what they know. They could just like some sort of Rain Man with it, you know?
Yeah, we never really tested the best, I think, in this country to like figure out how people are effective in certain areas.
And that's kind of where I'm at with this. Is like, so just because I don't know, was it that I didn't get enough right? Did I get too many?
Did you finish all of them?
No. And was that part of it too? I don't know. But I was trying my best. They even said, they had like an introductory video. It's like, if you don't know it, just answer it the best of your ability. Just answer it the best of your ability. I was like, so if you're telling me that, to keep going, not to spend too much time, and you want me to answer to the best of my ability, am I going to get half a credit if I get close? Because you're telling me to just keep going. Mm-hmm. And I didn't, or I was trying my best. And, you know, I guess at the end I could have just went A, B, B, C, C, or whatever and just be done with it. But I didn't. Mm-hmm. So did I get marked for that?
Yeah, I don't know.
15
minutes, 50 questions. It sounds like they didn't explain well what they were looking for out of the test. And maybe that was by design.
Yeah.
To not try to get into your head so you would try to answer a specific way. That's weird to me.
Yeah. So I'm glad I'm not the only one because it sat with me a little too long, making me feel stupid. And then I really I'm glad I got out of my head with it because I didn't want to sit with that. Because I know how to edit videos. In fact, the video that's out today, mind you, Sinister versus the Black Phone, if you're interested in seeing that. Yeah, that was
interesting. That's an interesting matchup, eh?
Yeah, it was a fun one, I think. That I kind of paced myself with it a little bit, you know? I'll say that. Because, not to say that I rushed through any of the others, but I kind of set myself up on a schedule. And I felt like it helped refine my work. Because I would set aside, like I knew what my timeline was, like when I had to get it done. So I said, okay, today I'm going to work on these 2 sections. The next day I'll work on these 2 sections. The day after I'll work on these 2 sections. And then as I was doing it, if I got done with a certain section at a certain point in the day, then I would think, I got a little bit more time. I'll start working on the next one. And then I could just kind of work on that one a little bit and kind of get ahead. And I felt like it helped the progress flow slower and more paced. And when I got told, you know, I hand in my versions, sometimes there might be a little thing I got to tweak here, a little thing I got to tweak there. Not a thing.
But yeah.
There was maybe like one little thing we had to adjust because there was some minor changes that they were starting to make from the outset for all the videos. That's all it had to be changed. It was solid. And I was like, finally. Yeah. So I know I can do it.
Sure.
And this skill assessment. No, I'm not. Screw it.
Well, hopefully that just means you dodged a bullet, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. And I mean, if there's someone listening who is much more experienced in this sort of avenue of entertainment, is that normal? Or have you seen something like that? You know, let us know, because I could just have no freaking clue, but that sounds weird to me.
Yeah, I'm curious about it. So, whatever. I just wanted to bring that up because I thought it was fun. Okay, so there were a few other little things I want to talk about, and then I'm going to end it with the last thing that I think we'll have a little bit extra to talk about. And then we can get into all that video game stuff that we're supposed to be talking about.
Yeah, I even made notes this week. Look at me.
Yeah. So, have you? I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this on the show before, probably many, many episodes ago. I know it wasn't recent. Yeah, David pointed out my memory has been shot. He didn't say that. He does
it in a more polite way.
Yeah,
like, oh, by the way.
He's just confirmed the things that I have suspected going, did I talk about that?
I just accept it now because I've known my brain's been broken for many years. So when someone's like, oh, it was this, I'm like, you're probably right.
Yeah.
I'll default to you.
But no, I mean, he's not been, he's letting me know that I was correct in my assessment of thinking, yes, I did bring this up again. It's okay.
Hey.
Thank you, David.
You were telling it to me.
Yeah.
If that makes you feel better. And I'm just like, sure, I don't know. Keep telling me the story. We'll
Hmm.
see. And then did I stop you?
Yeah. No, you didn't. You didn't. And it's not that I'm repeating it verbatim. It's just there's a new wrinkle or a new detail. It's the reason I'm bringing it up.
Yeah.
So
I swear I'm paying attention.
there's a show that I've been watching that I think it just kicked off its, I want to say, third season on ABC. It's called Home Economics. It's got Topher Grace.
Oh, yeah. Remember, though, I've kind of written off ABC because they cancel all the shows that I love, I'm done with them. But I think I started that one and then didn't finish it for whatever reason.
Well, it came back along with, their other shows like The Goldbergs and The Connors, which are other shows that I watch as well.
Yeah, I saw that came back. I really didn't think they would, but okay.
Yeah. Are you talking about The Goldbergs?
Oh, sorry, The Connors.
The Connors? No, I think The Connors is really running strong. The Goldbergs is the one I was kind of surprised by.
I have been enjoying The Connors. I didn't think I would.
I know.
I kind of peeked in as a morbid curiosity of like, how are you going to do this without Roseanne? And then I was like, oh, I guess it really doesn't make a difference.
It doesn't. I mean, the rest of the cast.
And I was really surprised. It's her freaking show, man. But okay.
No, the rest of the cast are solid. They handle it on their own. They found their own niche to kind of ride with, and I like it. I kind of think I like it more without her, to be honest.
I don't know that, but I like it just as well. Because I know people, you can judge me all you want, but I liked the old show from like the 80s and the 90s and stuff. We used to watch it and everything. I was a kid, so we didn't have social media. We weren't as in tune with how garbage everyone is in the world. But, the show itself was solid,
But anyway, Home Economics came back on, and I wanted to bring it up because I think I really, this episode, I think, solidified it for me as like one of my favorites because I don't know how you feel about him, but I love Topher Grace. I've always, like, from back in that 70s show, I thought he was probably one of the funniest actors on that show. Really carried it. Just his demeanor, just the way he kind of reacts to things. I love it. Mm-hmm. I think he's very talented. So when he was the draw for me when this show was being premiered, I thought, okay, let's see what he's doing. Mm-hmm. And if you're not familiar with the show, it's about him and his family, or he is a writer. He's got a very wealthy younger brother. And he's got a sister.
Bought his house from Matthew McConaughey, right?
Yeah, lives right there, like off the coast of San Francisco. You see the Golden Gate from his house.
I know. I watched most of the first season anyway.
And his sister, she is in a, what's the proper term here? She's a lesbian, and she's her and her partner. They've got two.
I think that's still okay.
Yeah, 2 kids they've adopted. Mm-hmm. So, and it's all about their family dynamic. They all meet together every week, or to have dinners, and they just chaos ensues to all these different personalities in this family.
Budding personalities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in this episode, so they were kind of following through with. There was big news that the little brother had to tell Topher Grace's character about this book that he was getting ready to publish, and he choked when he was supposed to reveal this news because he's been kind of nervous about it. And then when he choked, he said, we're all going to Disneyland. So they all go to Disneyland.
Oh, no.
This being a show on ABC, obviously this is like big promotion for Disneyland. Look at all the things from Disney, which again, you can be like,
giant ad episode.
Yeah, one of those episodes that we've seen time and again.
Time and again, yeah.
Well, with Family Matters, Full House, they all went to Disney World, Disneyland, or whatever. Anyway, point being.
No, I think it's hilarious now that the ad placement and stuff inside TV shows or whatever, or movies. Mm-hmm.
But what cracked me up, there were 2 jokes that just cracked me up the most. Again, just his delivery, just the way he is. That just
tophered it up.
Yeah. So again, he is still kind of like if you remember Eric from that 70s show, he was kind of the nerd. You know, he loved Star Wars. He loved all this stuff. This is kind of like Eric, just in modern day. In essence, I don't want to say he's exactly like that, but you know what I mean. Like
he's kind of like a Jason Bateman, right?
Yeah.
Where, like most of his characters are kind of the same, but you enjoy them nonetheless.
Yeah. So he nerds out on stuff, so I can relate to that because I get the nerdiness of it. So they're walking around Avengers Campus, and they're posing with Iron Man or the guy in the big Iron Man suit. Who's like, oh yeah, that's really awesome. Then his brother, Topher Grace's brother, looks at him and says, hey, you want to go say hi to Spider-Man? And he's like, no, and walks away. Now, it's a very sly joke, but if you remember, he was Venom in Spider-Man 3, and I thought that was good. That was a good one.
Nice.
Then there was another one when they went to Galaxy's Edge, which is the huge Star Wars theme park thing that they've got set up now, where you can fly the Millennium Falcon.
Is it the new Star Wars one?
Yeah. They call it Galaxy's Edge.
Okay.
And when he got there, he's looking at it, he's like taking it all in. He's like, oh my God, this is so great. And then some stormtroopers are walking by, and he's like, hey guys, what's up? And they go, shut up, rebel scum. And he goes, they call me rebel scum. Like that. And just the nerdiness of it.
Right.
And how much he enjoyed it.
So happy right now.
That cracked me up. So I was like, oh yeah. Okay. So just those little things I highly recommend if you're that kind of nerd like I am.
Yeah.
I love that. So yeah, that was a fun show that I highly recommend if that might be your bag. It might not be, but I dug it.
I don't know. I was, like I said, I was just more upset with ABC because they keep canceling all the shows I love. So I'm like, you know what? I've given you enough chances. I'm done with you.
That's why I'm typically the type that just, I'll wait it out. I'll wait to see, you know. I don't want to get invested in something.
As soon as they canceled The Real O'Neills, I think that was the last nail in the coffin for me. I was like, really?
Yeah.
That was such a brilliant show. And then The Kids Are All Right.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the last ones where they canceled it. I was like, I'm done here. Mm-hmm. I fell in love. I gave them one more chance with, not Blackish, Mixed-ish.
Mixed-ish, yeah.
Which was also fantastic, and they canceled it too. And that's when I was like, you know what, ABC? What are you doing?
Yeah.
You have great shows with amazing ensemble casts that are hilarious. And you keep tossing them aside for more game shows, which, by the way, I love game shows too.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
I get it. No, I get it. I think I'm honestly worried that Quantum Leap will be on that chopping block by the end of the season.
Well, they're not ABC at least.
No,
so.
but it's still, I jumped in head first, not thinking about it, and it could very well happen. I'm not saying it's a bad show.
I liked it, but I only saw the one episode. That's all that's been out though, right?
Right. I just mean, this feels like one of those shows that has potential to do something great, and then they're not going to allow it to happen because the ratings will be not what they expected, you know?
I don't know. Maybe Dick Wolf needs to buy it, and then it'll last forever.
Right? I mean, look how they treated the original Quantum Leap. I mean, it got canceled prematurely, and Sam just never made it home, and that's where they left it. And he was like, come on, man.
Yeah, I remember being very upset at that ending. Like, what? No, like, happy ending, big payoff for Sam? What the what?
What the what? Okay, so I'm going to try to move this along because I know I don't care.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you if you had heard about, have you heard of James and the Shame?
James and the Shame? I have not.
Okay.
That doesn't sound familiar even a little bit.
You know Rhett McLaughlin from Good Mythical Morning.
Yes.
This is him doing an album on his own. Like he has cut
singing?
Yeah, an original solo album and under the name James and the Shame. And it's pretty much him getting to me it sounds like he's getting a lot of stuff off of his chest. Things that he needs to just express, and he's doing it through song. A lot of the songs, I guess the theme or the genre would kind of fit in the country realm because I mean they've mentioned a lot of their stuff. Follow me here. I'm not the country person, okay?
Yeah.
I am not the country lover.
Not my bag.
I don't dismiss older country. It just depends on what kind of sound we're going for.
If he has a twang in his voice, I'll tell you now, I'm instantly out. I cannot stand that.
No.
Thing. That's what's always turned me off about country. If you love it, great. But me, it just sounds like.
No, there's none of that. So you don't have to worry about that. This is him singing in a normal tone. If you've heard him sing on Good Mythical Morning or any of his other stuff that he did with Link, then it's no different than that. Just with country back,
like banjos.
No, just like the.
Of course, I don't even know if that's considered country anymore. Country sounds more poppy to me now.
I guess there is one song that kind of has a little bit of a banjo, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, point being, I would recommend listening to some of the songs. In fact, I'm probably going to share some with you after the show just to kind of get your take on it. Because some of the songs, I don't know if you remember this happening, but some of the background from Rhett and Link is that they kind of did missionary work for a church that they were a part of.
They were very, very religious. And
then, and then they kind of had, would go to these Christian camps and try to, teach the Word of God to the kids and the younglings there. And at some point, they kind of had a difference of opinion,
I hate to say a come to Jesus moment.
Yeah. But, I mean, to my understanding, like one of the details that they kind of pointed out that I remember almost specifically is that when they met Stevie and, found out she was gay, they kind of reflected on how the church or their religion.
Oh, it was that late, huh?
Yeah, it was.
I don't know why I thought it was well before they started GMM. But okay.
Well, see, that's what I'm not 100% sure on, but I remember this just being one of those details. It was just like, so if our religion is telling us that we have to hate this person, but we love her,
right?
Then maybe there's a problem here. So then they start digging into it and they start deconstructing their religions until they come to this realization that that's not where they belong anymore. And where they feel spiritually, I don't know. I feel like one of the last things I ever heard them say was maybe they're kind of on this, they would love to believe in a higher power of some kind, just not what you read in the Bible.
Right.
And that's fair. I think most people who want to believe in a higher power, that's fantastic. Not for me, but just don't buy it into a book that was written by men. That's all I'm saying. But higher power, whatever. Yeah, I would love to think that there's something better and bigger than us.
Right? To make this all even make sense.
Yeah. So, in a nutshell, when they came out with all this, you've got people who loved them from way back when because they thought they were, And
now it's conflicting.
Yeah, Jesus freaks and is like, well, you didn't love God at all. You
never could have if this is the way you are about it. He would have come into your heart. You hardened his voice to it, and you've let the devil in.
Yeah.
And now that the devil's in your heart, I'm just going to pray for you. I really hope that you can come back around. Yeah.
So a lot of the, I won't say all the songs, but there are a few songs in there that are pretty much messages to those people. Like one called Believe Me, which I think was the first track that he released as a single, just to kind of get it out there. It was pretty much giving that message back. He's like, you don't have to believe how I believe. I don't have to believe what you believe, but believe me when I say I was there. I
bet they agonized over it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've heard the stories. Like when he tried to bring this information to his wife, he said point blank, she absolutely was just like, no, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Yeah. And he was like, he wasn't trying to push it, but he was like, I'm trying to help you understand it. And you have to think about it. It is.
Well, and they're raising kids together. That's kind of a, you need to be in agreement on how that's to go, because... And that's a big point for people.
Look, I'll even say it for me personally. I grew up in a house. We went to church every Sunday. I had my days where it was just like, I don't want to go. But, parents would be like, get your clothes on. Let's go. We're going to church. Yep. So you'd go.
You got shoved in a nursery away from them for like an hour. It was great.
Yeah. So you had,
or at least I did.
I mean, for at least, I'm taking a ballpark guess here. 7 years of my life, I was going to church every Sunday. Even by the time I was in my teenage years, I would go willingly for other reasons. Let's just say that.
Okay.
I had ulterior motives to go, but I would go. And eventually I just got away from it, and that's that. But I still kind of had a faith after I left, or was not going anymore. It was there. It just wasn't prevalent in my day-to-day. Now, some people could say, well, that's what did it right there. But at some point, I started questioning things, and it wasn't an immediate, I don't believe in God.
That's where you get into the problem.
But I didn't.
When you start thinking.
It wasn't an immediate, turn my back on it. I had those crises of conflict where I was just like, I don't know. Like, I felt bad for thinking that. And I had to go through that. So when I was listening to their story, I was like, I get it. You felt like you were doing something wrong, but everything sounded so
it's
right.
That guilt, man. It's that guilt.
And I get, and when people don't want to hear it, I get it. Because you have had it drilled into your head. If you were trying to change someone's mind who had it in their life for 50 plus years, you could forget it.
I feel like they probably did their due diligence way more than any of us did. You know what I mean? Because we've talked about this coming from my background. Heck yeah, even still sometimes to this day, that guilt still remains, and you go, well, So being instilled at you at a young age, man, that F's you up and sticks with you.
Oh yeah, for sure. So the album, James and the Shame, Human Overboard, it's the name of it. No, not a sponsor or anything like that, but I would recommend giving it a listen. There's a song on there. I think my favorite is called Give a Damn, which I'll send you. There's actual video of like that animation and everything. It's catchy. Okay. It's just so, I love it. I think that's my favorite. However,
I'll give it a shot.
There's another song on there that it hit me really, really hard emotionally because it was kind of a love letter like a father to his children. And when I got teary-eyed and I had to hold a lot of shit back. And so this is not a song I could probably listen to with other people.
Sure.
Because I tried.
Let this be for me.
Because I wanted to have Katrina listen to it, and I played it. And as I'm sitting there listening to it, I'm sitting there I could feel it just welling up, and I'm just like, suck it up, suck it up, suck it up.
I can do this.
And I did. And then as soon as it ended, and she was like, oh, that was a beautiful song. And it was just like, it hit me again. I was like, stop.
Well, now you can cry together at how beautiful it was.
That's it was a wonderful, lovely song. I even shared it to some of my kids because I felt like it was appropriate for them to kind of say, this is how I'm saying it to you. And I felt, like I said, everything about it just felt right. Like this, this could be me saying it to them. So here you go.
Well, that's fun.
So I was really happy about that, and it was a beautiful song. But again, James and the Shame. Go check it out if you want.
Check it out.
Finally. Finally. We're almost an hour in. This is so beautiful. Finally. Okay, so since you told me that you had went and watched Sprung.
I did. I finished it.
What'd you think?
I liked it. I really did. It picked up better towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's it, though, eh?
I'm guessing, which is...
There's no way you could continue and make it fun, I think, after that. And if that was it, then fine. You told your story. It was fun, and we're done here. But I did. I mean, how do you not like Marsha? I mean, really? Mm-hmm. Or maybe I just, growing up with her.
No. She's a delight.
But yeah, just... I could see the similarities with Earl, though.
Yeah.
Like, a lot. And that personality and humor was being shared a lot between the two. I feel like they could have pulled a little bit harder on sorry guys, I guess for spoilers, if this was a show you were eyeing.
Just skip ahead 5 minutes.
Right. Or 10. I don't know anymore. We don't know what we're doing. But I feel like they could have pulled a little bit harder at the thread of the good deeds he was doing back to try to counteract the stuff that they were doing.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they just barely touched that surface in a couple of episodes, just enough for it to be in your head, but not enough of a follow through for it to be where what I thought it was supposed to be more plot.
Sure.
Like it was supposed to be more about the plot of him doing this back. So that I don't think they fleshed out nearly as well as they could have, but the cast they got, yeah, I thought it was just fun. It was just a lot of fun and worth it for a one-time through for sure. I think they all did. Yeah, and that Wiggles, I tell ya. That Wiggles, I tell ya. The last few episodes, she was just had me dying.
Yeah.
She just had me dying. She's just such a lovely actor, whoever portrayed her. I didn't look up her name. I should have. But like I said, a little less on the baby talk. Like I could have had that volume of the voice just brought down a little bit, and I think it still could have hit for me, but she was great.
Yeah, she was fantastic.
She was just freaking amazing.
Yeah.
You left me to die under a weighted blanket. I had to go. I just started dying. Oh my gosh, she's great. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was kind of like you. I mean, once we hit episode 10, it was just over, or I guess 9, 10, whatever it was. I think it was 9, but
I think it was 10.
Combined the last two. But I want there to be more, but I'm like you. I don't think you can do anymore.
They totally wrapped up that storyline, at least anyway, you know, and a happy ending and all that kind of stuff. So great. But yeah, like, unless you're going to bring them back together.
I'm kind of afraid that if you do, then you're going to ruin.
What would be the motivation?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like you want more, but you know that it probably isn't a good idea because how can you do it?
Well, I feel like and like I said, I don't know if the writer intended it to just be this one season. That's totally fair.
I don't know either.
You had this one story to tell. But yeah, they moved everything, like the stakes were too high, too large, too quick. Mm-hmm. And then with it being successful, you're like, well, that's the story then, right? Mm-hmm. Like we didn't have like with Earl, for example, you know, where he just had this list he kept going with. And however, I imagine they would have wanted to have ended the show had it not been canceled prematurely, but probably had some big name on that list that would have probably been maybe your last season's follow-up that would have been large, like your big one that you could do the whole season. So yeah, with it starting so large, so rich, so everything right away, that's what kind of leads me to believe that was it. That's all they intended.
Yeah.
And then I hope it doesn't just get picked up for the sake of getting picked up and then wasting it, you know.
Yeah, I don't want them to do it if they can't match what they did. So if that was it, then I'll take it.
That's it.
That was a perfect little short-lived sitcom that just hit all the right notes. And I'd recommend it to anyone. Mm-hmm. And you're going to get
a tomfoolery good time.
Yeah, absolutely. You're going to have a lot of fun. So again, since you did that, I did decide to check out The Imperfects.
Oh, yay!
Now,
hey. I was starting to think Steven doesn't like any of my suggestions.
No. I did. I thought, no, I've got time. Let's go ahead and check it out. Got through the first 5 episodes.
Yeah?
I like what they're doing. I like the story. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's kept my interest. But I feel like the characters and even the dialogue, whoever the screenwriter is, goes through cliches and tropes. And I'm just like, I know these characters. I've heard this dialogue. But the story is really interesting. But you've got these cliches. And
what did you think about the scientist, though? You think he's been done 1 million times to death?
He's doing a variation, but yeah, there's something about it's the overly, oh my God. Like for a moment, I thought he was trying to do like a Rhys Darby impression because he's kind of wavering on that New Zealandish.
It is. What's funny, his real name is Rhys, I think.
Yeah, I noticed that, yeah.
When you said that, I was like, wait, I think that is his name.
But you know, Rhys Darby, he's that New Zealander. Yes. And he talks like this, you know, he goes.
Isn't he from around that area, though, too?
Oh, yeah, he's from New Zealand.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Flag means death.
Yeah.
You know?
I can't do it, but yeah, that's your name.
I've been working on it, because I wouldn't say I have it down, but there's certain words that they inflect differently, you know. So again, I lose it. I get it and lose it. Just depends on the word.
Yeah. I don't even bother because mine will just all default to like Julia Childs, which is funny because she's not even British or anything. And I'm just like, no.
But yeah, like the main girl. What's her name? Tilda?
Tilda, yes.
Tilda.
Well, the one that has the cool stuff, I'll say.
The banshee power.
Yes.
For one, the scream, I wish they'd kind of tweak that a little bit. It gets a little annoying. It's like, and it's like, okay, you're a banshee, and I just, it's a little annoying for however often they use it. Mm-hmm. And her characterization, there's, again, that's one of those cliches. It's like, oh, the tough chick with the thing, and she got the jacket. She's the person. She's going to be the smart ass throughout the whole thing.
I'm the one who's been depressed my whole life. You can't mess with me.
Yeah, and you're never going to break my tough exterior. But I also care about you, but I'm tough. And, again, I don't hate it. But I see it riddled with all these cliches, and I'm like, you couldn't have tried not to do those. You had such a solid story, you had such a solid idea, and you riddled it with all these cliches. Even, like I said, even the dialogue, there were just some lines. I'm like, oh, that, yeah. It was just, I think one of the first ones that I kind of took note of is someone was trying to crack a joke, and I don't even remember what the joke was, and it was like, oh, that wasn't funny. It was like, yeah, no. And it was like, oh, so you're acknowledging your joke wasn't funny, so you just had to throw it in. I don't know. But again, I'm not knocking the show.
Could have been just like childish humor.
Yeah, I'm not knocking the show. Like I said, it's solid. It's kept my attention. Mm-hmm. It's just those little...
I think the biggest difference for me that I enjoyed about it was just that it seems like all of the drama most people default to in a lot of shows these days is infighting. Yeah. And this one isn't doing that, which made it so refreshing to me that they were working together. You did good. Cool. There wasn't this whole, I got to be mad at each other for 2 or 3 days over some silly thing that I said, or because you stepped in when I was supposed to step in, or whatever. And so that was just refreshing to not be annoyed at the fact that they're all just arguing with each other all the time. And for a cast of that age, you expect it.
Oh, yeah, no.
You expect them to fabricate the drama in that way because that's just what's always been done for some reason.
That was actually one of the details that I noticed in one. I can't remember what episode it was, but there was that moment where it was like, well, here is where they're going to start fighting, and they don't. Mm-hmm. And it was like, well, that's kind of nice. You know, because it's, like you said, it's almost a definite fact. There's going to be this clash between all the characters, and they're just going, well, I hate you.
I'm leaving.
Yeah, and they're just going to fight, and it's like, why are you fighting? Why?
You all have such cool things.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's why I liked Tilda too, because the other thing that I hate that people always do at superhero shows is kids, I don't want to be a superhero. You are such a piece of shit liar.
Yeah.
There is no human on earth that would be given something this cool, and then your first instinct is, I want to be human. No, you don't. You've been human. Are you cool? No. Yeah. But I can do this thing. Mm-hmm. I want to be human and like normal. No, you don't.
No, you don't.
And every time a movie or show does that, I want to punch the screen because I'm like, why?
But see, the only time
that I could fly, you wouldn't hear me complaining about I want to be normal. Like, fuck you, I'm flying.
Right. Now, I mean, there are exceptions to that rule depending on the power.
Depending on the power, sure.
Like Rogue, for example, in X-Men. She wants to be normal because she can't touch people. I get it.
That's fair.
That's an understandable...
You got a shitty power.
Yeah, that's an understandable argument to make. But you can scream, you can hear people. I'm sure the hearing part could get, but
well, yeah. If you can, I try not to spoil because, like, I feel like some of those things you might.
Oh,
be like,
yeah.
Okay. But yeah.
But
sure.
If there's a way to temper it down a little bit to where you can manage it, sure. Why wouldn't you? Because that's an awesome power to have.
Right.
I mean,
right.
It probably could be a bad thing at times because you're like, I didn't want to hear that. But
right,
who wouldn't? That's all I'm saying. Who wouldn't?
Yeah, like they're one of their powers. Sure, fine. Like I wouldn't want to be a chupacabra. If I'm being honest, that doesn't seem cool to me at all. But yeah. Depending on the power, I don't know that I would be off. I don't want this. I don't want it. What? Like, it just bothers me so hard. Like, there's no way I believe that this child's like, cool, I want to be normal.
But yeah. But I am looking forward to the last stretch. So, like I said, I am interested. It's just, I wish that some of the, I wish they'd have had better writers to strengthen what was already a good, solid idea. That's all.
Fair. Yeah.
So since we're an hour in, tell me what you've been playing.
What we've been playing this week. You know what, though, guys? I did some Academia School Simulator. I had a rough week, so Lace just had to do some nonsense tomfoolery, not having to think about a thing kind of game playing. And then I read. Okay. I actually read some this week that I hadn't done in a while. And then I'm like, did I play any other games? Trying to think. It was such a long week this week. My God. No, I downloaded Deathloop and then was big fat dum-dum and actually ran errands and stuff yesterday, which is usually the day that I would focus more on gaming. And then for some reason decided to read instead. I was like, you know what? I'll do this instead.
Nothing wrong with that.
But I've got those downloaded ready to go. And I'm also upset because I really want to get the Monkey Island game because that came out. Yeah. So I need to get on that soon also. And then Paul Rashid, Good Gate Media, they announced another FMV. He's been busy this year. I'm okay with it. So it's like I'm about to be busy again. So I'm going to see all these coming out and I just got to get on it. But Deathloop came to Game Pass, so I had to download it, and that was the plan, was to at least start that and see how I liked it.
It came on the PlayStation Plus service as well, so
okay.
I might have to check it out.
Maybe we need to, let's see what this week looks like.
Yeah, we may have to do like
I think this week should be good.
Double late review
of Deathloop, right? We're coming to the other side. To the other side. And then the only other thing I wanted to bring up before I ask you what you've been playing. Have you seen the movie 13 Fanboy?
Okay, so you're the second person to ask me about that this week.
I watched it last night, and you were the first person I thought of. You are the first person.
So I'm guessing I'm going to have to watch it today because, again, this is the second time it's been brought up this week.
Okay.
Yes, I have heard of it. Yes, I'm excited to watch it. I just keep forgetting about it.
I just figured it'd be right up your alley.
It
so
does,
I was like,
yeah.
If you didn't know, I need to bring your attention to it because I think you would enjoy the crap out of it.
I've heard a lot of, I don't want to say negative stuff about it where people are like, oh, it's stupid.
It's not amazing, but I feel like for someone who's a fan of the series like you are, you will enjoy it way more than even I did because I've not seen all of the Friday the 13th films. I've seen some, not all. But just the callbacks, the actors, the everything that came on board for this project, I feel you just sit there with a smile on your face because of the people involved, you know? So I think you'd have to love the series.
Yeah, one of the more positive reviews that I read said that it was a love letter to the series, and if you are a fan, you will probably love the shit out of this. And
for those who don't know what we're talking about, 13 Fanboy, it's a scary movie based around the premise of a fan who's overly obsessed with the series and is stalking the actors throughout the franchise.
Friday the 13th series, if you didn't pick up on that thread.
Oh, I didn't say that. You're right. Yeah, the Friday the 13th. And some Halloween.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Gets called out in there a little bit, too. But yeah, so that was all I wanted to bring up because I watched it last night. It's fine. But I was like, I bet you would just love it just from the actors who got involved at all. If you're a fan of the series, just that enough. And then playing along with it will probably just bring you joy for hour 50. I think is all it was. You know, it wasn't super long.
I don't know if you knew this or not, but the person who, I don't know if she wrote it, but at least I know she directed it. The director of that, she was an actress in Friday the 13th Part 5.
Voorhees.
Yeah, Debbie Sue Voorhees.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of neat.
Both of the Jason.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought was really funny. I was like, oh, you know. So even for someone like me, I was like, okay, that's really cool. So yeah, I think you should just watch it because you'll just have fun of the people who are in it and everything, and them all playing along with the premise was just kind of fun.
Yeah. I'll make a note.
It's on Netflix?
No, it was on Showtime. Showtime.
Okay.
That's why I kept forgetting about it. It's because I don't get on there very much. So I'm kind of hoping that Paramount will start, you know, I know they kind of have, but they've been talking about making it official, like really just getting rid of the Showtime app, smashing it all together in Paramount Plus. Be done with it. Please. One less app I have to worry about.
Right? This is why I don't know what I'm watching anything on anymore.
That's what I'm talking about.
But anyway, okay, video game stuff. What have you been playing since I failed on all of that?
Let's see. I played more of the Avengers.
Oh, okay.
I'm
sticking with it, huh?
I'm having fun with it from the story perspective, But I think I could see where if you were trying to grind, that you would probably get fed up, because I don't see myself playing this game beyond story missions. So once I finish the main story, and then
a big multiplayer
I'm sure I'll want to mess around with like the Spider-Man bonus story. But once I've done that, I don't know what more I want to do.
It was on your PlayStation, right? So you didn't buy it or anything. It was the
service,
right? Yeah.
And I don't intend to pay any money because I've seen the credits that are around.
Sure.
The credits are what get you the new costumes and all this stuff. But they say you can unlock it and then you can earn credits. I haven't earned one single credit. Not a one. So
really?
I don't know how this works.
Oh, I bet you it's multiplayer only mode or something that you get those credits.
Then I guess I'm not getting any.
Because if you've not gotten a one,
no,
I would be led to believe that it's probably a multiplayer thing then.
And if it is, so be
reason.
it. You know, if that's how they want to be, fine. I'm not paying for costumes. I refuse. It's a skin.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah.
That's it.
If
so
you like to, then fine. But I don't see the point in just a skin.
Yeah,
unless it's coming with buffs.
I'm just not going to do it. You know, skins are skins. Skins, I feel like, should be a bonus. You know, if you get a skin, kind of like with what they did with, I think it was Arkham Knight, where you buy the season pass, you're still getting extra content like story missions and bonus modes and stuff like that, but you're also getting these extra skins that are part of it.
Yeah.
So you may have purchased the extra skins in essence, but I don't feel like it was me buying them individually. I'm just getting them along with the extra game content.
Okay.
That I get to play.
Sure.
So
you're just throwing it in there as a bonus.
Right.
Sure.
Here they're like $5. You could get this awesome Spider-Man costume, and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Yeah. And it's just
I can just get it on PC and mod it in. So thank you.
Yeah, it's shameless. I don't want, but again, from the story perspective, I'm still in. I'm still enjoying it. I'm having fun beating up things. I just know that the grind is just not something I'm gonna deal with. So as long as I can get through the story, I'm good.
There you go.
After that, I also played Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I got me and my wife because we wanted to go back and play that, and that recently came to PlayStation Plus Extra. And
nice. Okay.
I thought this would be a fun time for us to get back into it. So I want to say that it was a lovely experience the entire time, but we hit one hell of a snag in this game. And I thought we were not going to be able to pass it because it was bad. So we would play the game, and it's a regular beat 'em up if you haven't played it already, but it has some kind of role-playing elements where you can kind of boost your stats to be stronger and stuff like that. You collect money and you buy stuff at shops, kind of a lot like River City Ransom, which is another fantastic game that I love. And we were trying to build up some of our stats because we were getting our asses handed to us quite a bit, you know, so we wanted to toughen up. So we would kind of replay certain levels. We've eventually got to level 3, got to the end, the game crashed. I mean, so it was like, well, shit. So we were mad. Yeah. So I was like, all right, well, restart, try again, go through, right back to the final boss, mid-fight, boom, crash. I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, man.
Third time, boss, mid-fight, crash. And was like, this is bullshit. There's something wrong here. It's crashing right here, exact same spot, every single time. So I looked up if anyone had seen anything, their patches, what have you. Nothing. Ubisoft's
really?
like,
not even a Reddit thread?
Oh, well, there were Reddit threads. I just mean like as far as a fix, a proper fix, like a patch. Yeah. Ubisoft is just like, well, we're sorry to hear that. Well, tell us what the problem is. It's like, bitch, everybody's saying it. What do you mean, what's the problem?
Right. We can't beat the boss.
Yeah. The game crashes when we hit a certain spot. What part of this are you not understanding? Patch it. And so I luckily found a thread on Reddit. Someone was like, hey, I took the game, put my system back to 1080p as opposed to 4K.
Okay.
Didn't have a problem. And I thought, well, that seems very arbitrary, but what the hell? What do I got to lose? Let's try it.
Right.
1080p, got to the boss, boom, killed him, done. Moving on. And I was like, I'll be damned. So it had...
What was programmed funky there? Yeah.
I don't know. So whatever it was had something to do with the 4K settings. 1080p.
Maybe it wasn't
fine.
optimized properly for it or something.
Could have been.
Interesting. Wow.
But
hey,
hey,
good old Reddit to the rescue. I tell you, man, I find more of my solutions off of Reddit threads and then laugh at all the tomfoolery comments usually made along the way. I have a good time over there.
Yeah. So once we got that sorted, we played through the game, beat it.
Nice.
We're good. So we had a lot of fun playing that. And then I tried to find us another game to play, and I don't know if this was the one. It's a little game called Chicory. Have you heard about this? It's like a game where you play like this little cartoon dog with a paintbrush, and you get to paint everything. And I thought it was going to be 2-player in the sense that, we were both playing a character, but apparently I played as the dog with a paintbrush, and then she just played as a little cursor who also had a paintbrush, and we could just paint shit together. And, so it was just kind of like, eh. And we played it for a little bit, and it was just like, eh. And I'm not saying it's a bad game. It just, I guess... I just wasn't in the mood for that game right then and there.
Sure. Was there like a goal?
I don't know.
That would be my only thing. Like, is there something I'm striving to achieve? Or if I'm just here painting, I'm probably just going to mess with it for maybe 5 minutes and
there was a story, but at some point in the story, they were like, well, here, go to this place. And I'm walking in circles going, I don't know where to go. So I got lost somehow in this very small little... forest, and I was just
won't judge you. I'm directionally challenged.
Yeah. No, I went every direction. I looked for every little thing, and I was just like, well, I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm just going to turn this off now. So
yeah, we're done.
Maybe I'll give it another shot at some point, but I don't know. I was looking forward to it because it looked like it would be a kind of a cute, fun little game. And
have you and Katrina ever played It Takes Two or?
I want to. I need to get on that.
I think you two would enjoy that. And also, you might have already played it. There was a Wii game Snippet.
That does sound familiar. I think was
the name of it. That was a lot of fun for a 2-player game where you both are, I don't know, like little pieces of paper or whatever, and then whatever goal is on the screen, you either have to make the shape of something by cutting each other out a little bit and using each other as the way to get like the ball in the hole or bounce the right way or whatever. It's kind of fun. So it's like a little strategy game the two of you would figure out how to play together. It's fun for once through.
I don't know.
I think it's on Wii.
Like I feel...
Not Wii. Switch. Jesus.
See, I feel like... I guess maybe I've seen a trailer for it or something because it seems very familiar, but I don't know if I've played it.
That was a fun 2-player game. And I feel like you could find it for $5-ish. If even that much. And I want to say there's DLC too, so you could probably get the whole thing. I think David and I beat it in like a couple hours if you just sat down and did it. So it's not terribly long, but it was fun. Yeah. I keep my eye out to see if there's more DLC coming for it because it was just a fun, cute little game that was built on having to work together.
Right. So you said you had some things jotted down. What do you got? We've wasted an hour.
I kind of want to. Did you? Okay, everyone probably saw about this GTA 6 leak, but like the whole thing kind of ended up so crazy that a 17-year-old kid, dude.
That's what I heard.
Is what they're saying out of that Lapsus group. What was I doing at 17? You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
And how in the hell? But yeah, apparently the same group that may have hacked Uber and all of that as well, that Lapsus group out of the UK. Here I was thinking it was probably some like chump in a country that doesn't even work with the US because I'm like, who would do that to Take-Two and, 2K and Rockstar? Because like,
yeah.
They'll sue over anything. So I was like, they have to be sitting in some country that doesn't even play ball with the States if they're so no. Okay, well, here you are. Jesus, what a huge, crazy thing. Because I remember seeing it last week, and I was like, I'm not going to bring it up. They leak this crap all the time. And I saw some legitimacy to it before we even started the pod, but I was still like, by the time we're done recording, they're going to be like, JK, it's done. But no, it got worse.
Yeah.
Like, holy hell. I don't understand the well, I guess I should. They wanted money, after all. Sure. It seemed like they were trying to blackmail them by the end. You want your source code back or whatever. But Man, just the motivation to want to sit there and spoil a thing. And then to see some people thinking it was such a great, amazing thing because they've made us wait so long. Like, what? So it's okay to trash all of this developer's hard work
Because you had to wait 10 years?
Furthermore, these are the same whiny little bitches who are complaining, well, this game looks terrible. It's
Right?
not finished,
It's not
dumbass.
They stole it while they were still developing
Yeah.
it. And honestly, it looks better than some garbage that's been released. So you know what? Like, look, I did love the comebacks with all the other developing teams, though, putting out what Control looked like before it was done developing and won awards, and just all these different developing teams showing off what it looks like, when they're developing a game. But yeah, the audacity to whine about how crappy it looks. Then the audacity to think it was totally fair.
Because Rockstar didn't give you a game as soon as you wanted a game.
And it's just like, where are you getting this idea that any of this behavior is okay?
Oh, we didn't even mention the other complaint, that it was confirmed to be a woman protagonist.
Well, partly. I think we knew that, though.
Right,
a little bit. There
but
was a
now we
rumor,
saw
but-
it. We saw
I know,
it.
that's true.
And they're like,
We did.
no, women.
Oh, God. I know. How dare all of our estrogen just get put into your video games? You know what I mean?
Women are not
It's rough.
criminals.
No, we're not. Apparently not. No. I wish that were the case, right? But
Yeah, I
Probably
mean,
a little
women.
more-
We don't want to go running around vandalizing, killing, running over hookers as a woman. We got to do it as
Right?
a man.
we're going to do it as a man. Women wouldn't do that sort of thing.
No,
No.
push your agenda on me.
I don't know. Woke agenda. It's like we've been around a while. Sorry, women. We've just been around since the beginning of time, too.
Yeah,
Sorry.
It's
Sorry.
we're the mutants, damn it. I mean, seriously, come on, think about it. From a scientific perspective, we have the mutated gene, or the
men?
chromosome. Okay.
Well,
So
don't we all start off as chicas until
Right?
a little bit longer in the oven?
so
Because of your functional nipples and all of that.
it's not. I'm not going to argue with these people.
I know, that's a whole other argument.
Point being,
But
yeah,
yes.
the internet lost its shit over this thing that we thought about talking about last week, and we're just
I
like,
was like, it's just gonna blow over by the time we're done recording. It'll just be proven debunked or false or whatever. And
Yeah.
then, I saw Jason Schreier tweet like, "Hey, this is legit." Then you saw Rock, and I'm like, "Oh,
yeah.
and like pretty big. One of the biggest they're saying, leaks from this industry maybe ever. So I don't know. I guess if you were excited for the game, it might be time to just go on all your socials and block every keyword that could have anything to do with the Grand Theft Auto, whatever the characters' names are, if you know, whatever, to try to protect yourself, because it's out there, and it's just, once it's on the internet, it's on the internet. I mean, I'm sure they're DMCAing left and right, but people are still gonna keep it up there.
It happens.
Yeah. So now it'll probably get delayed a little bit, and let me guess, that'll be Rockstar's fault too for making you wait longer, and
Yeah.
all this kind of stuff. I don't know. I just think it's a really garbage thing to do. It's just,
And
they've already discussed it, but the developers, that's got to be heartbreaking, putting all that time into something that you're wanting to reveal in a specific way. And then some assholes just like, no, we've waited too long. I have your source code if you want it back.
And in all fairness to Rockstar with this, one of the things that we've always complained about is when publishers announce a game and it's just way too early, and you're like, why did you announce this? They have not technically officially announced this game, so
I was expecting another one. Did they promise another one? You know what I mean? Exactly that too.
So
We just
I give them
assumed
credit.
for so long they were developing it for 10 years. And
Yeah.
they might have been, but they never said that was a definitive thing happening.
No.
I do think they did officially announce, though, that they were working on it. But clearly now they'd have to, because, we've seen it. But outside of that was it.
Well, I
It's
mean,
like, okay,
I
chill.
guess they didn't. There has not been a trailer, that they just put out and it was just like, it's coming.
Yeah,
and we're like, oh, okay.
They pretty much just said, yes, we agree, we are working on this. And
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah,
But
that was
that's all
pretty
we're
much
gonna
what
say.
I remember. Right. Like, correct. We're working on it. But, 17-year-old kid. I saw that and I'm like, 17, man. 17.
It's amazing what kids can do nowadays.
Growing up with this stuff and being smart and born in it and all this,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know why that was the part that blew my mind. Where I'm like, I was doing crap all with my life at 17. This kid's cracking Uber and Rockstar and what the crap else. And so, okay, well, I guess we'll see what happens from here. Supposedly in custody, and I guess we'll just wait and see. I don't know what else. Like, have we done this before? I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But the only other thing that I had two other things that I had written down that caught my eye, and I showed it to you this morning, but I just thought it was fun just to see that there's a Ted Lasso FIFA 23 kind of thing. I just thought that the trailer was fun, that they had the same actors and, Ted Lasso in it. And even though I have no desire still to play a FIFA game, it's just not I don't do sports games. I just thought it was fun.
Yeah.
It makes me miss Ted Lasso more. I want to know when it's coming back, damn it.
Right?
Like, I need it in my life.
Yeah, no, I'm anxious for another season of Ted Lasso, and
We've got to be.
We haven't heard anything, and it feels like it should be it should have been by now.
Yeah, we are in September, October, I guess, when shows would start, But I don't know if anyone's on a typical season anymore.
Yeah, it's true. Now, I do remember. I remember this very vividly. On my birthday last year, I watched the season finale. So
on your birthday?
On my birthday last year, I watched the season finale.
October, baby.
So I feel like it's well past the time that it premiered last year.
I mean, there might have been more COVID delays or something. I don't know.
Yeah, very, very true.
I thought they said this was going to be their last season.
They did. So
I at least know there's one more that's supposed to hit.
But you know what? I give them credit for that too. Because they saw where their vision needed to end. And they had their plan. And people were just like, you think there'll be more? I've heard Bill Lawrence say definitively several times, we got a 3-season plan. That's what we're doing. That's it. That's it. And, maybe we'll review it at some other point in time. But at this moment, this is our plan. We're sticking to it.
Yeah. And some shows have proven they've needed to stick with that instead of just keeping going for the sake of money. So I like it to end on top. Of course, I'll be sad because I love it so hard. I would be sad for it to go away, but things end. It's just how life goes.
I thought about something else that we may want to bring up on the show. Yeah, it just slipped my mind. October 6th, we're supposed to possibly be seeing our first glimpse of Super Mario Brothers, the movie from Illumination.
I think I did start seeing people hate on Chris Pratt again. You're right. That must be coming up.
I think
the annual Chris Pratt-a-thon that we complain about on Twitter.
New York Comic-Con, I think, is when it's going to premiere. Now, whether or not it shows up online, it's going to show up online.
It's going to show up online, yeah.
Whether officially or unofficially, it's going to show up online.
Like, it'll get out there. We'll see it. But yes, I think you're right. That sounds about right. For when they were planning on announcing or showing off something.
So, me personally, I'm looking forward to it.
I think it could be fun. We'll see. I don't hold the same animosity towards the people involved that it seems like some of Twitter does anyway. I'm trying to be realistic in how many people are legit probably mad and actually going on Twitter and saying anything. But, I don't hold any animosity towards them.
No, I don't. I'm excited about the cast. I'm excited about the fact that it's going to be, fully animated. So we're going to get to see characters that look like who they're supposed to look like. So proper way to approach it.
A human to look like it.
In fact, I think that's what I'm more interested to see is how Illumination is going to animate them. Are they just going to be pure representations of the characters we know, just with more fluid, Hollywood refined CGI?
Yeah.
Or are they going to put like little flourishes on them that kind of make them stand out a little bit? Are they going to do just... Because I don't feel like since you're doing animation, tweaking them too much would be a step too far. Because you still want them to look like the characters, but also feel like you want to add some detail somewhere. just to kind of help them stand out. So maybe all the fabrics will look a certain way. You'll see the hair strands. I don't know. But I feel like they can't just be the same models that we've seen in Nintendo games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, to a degree. Yeah, you're right. To a degree. Yeah. So, I guess I haven't really seen anything leak about, how it's supposed to look or anything. I just always keep getting overshadowed by the hate of him being Mario.
Which, again, when the movie comes out, what's going to be your complaint?
I don't know, they'll still go.
What's going to be your
virtue
complaint?
Signal that they think they're so much better. It's like, you're still going to go give your money. Like, all you people who are, I don't believe any of you.
You're not going to sit and listen to, oh no, look at me, I got to go get to the princess, oh my goodness, for an hour and a half. You're going to be going, all right, man, that's enough. That's why you get Chris Pratt.
Well, that might do it, and I don't know if that would have to do with just being him. It's just that was the decision for the whole movie. No. Yeah, hopefully not. That would just be obnoxious.
No, yeah, it would. So I'm sure they'll do a wink and a nod and a joke, but Chris Pratt, what's wrong with his voice? That's all you're getting to hear? It's just his voice?
I think it's just because it's popular to hate him right now. I've not done a whole lot of digging, but the stuff that I've seen, I just kind of go, I don't know that I would have drawn that conclusion. But, okay, whatever. I guess, if that was the intention. But I think we're trying to make fetch happen. I
guess.
Is what it feels like to me. Because I'm just like, oh, an offhanded comment that all of you misunderstood. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If that's why we're mad. I don't hate someone for just being religious or whatever.
No, it's ridiculous.
And there was a church. Oh, wait, I forgot about that. There was some church he supposedly went to, right? That was LGBT. That was what it was. I was thinking about the comment about his other kid was what did it, but I think that was in there too.
It's a compound of the two.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. All right. Well, then maybe it's making a little more sense, but still.
Whatever. You want to hate?
Yeah.
Screw it.
That's not the let's hate the movie if it's bad. Let's just do that. If it's a bad movie, then fair.
Well, it's funny too, now that you mention that, not saying that I would 100% agree with this assessment, but at the same time, I kind of feel like if somebody should speak on this, it should be somebody who knows him. Patton Oswalt has a new special on Netflix. I don't know if you saw that.
Did you watch it?
I did. We watched it last night. And hilarious, by the way, if you like Patton.
Well, halfway to the end, hilarious. I think the beginning could have used some punch up because I was about to turn it off, if I'm honest. Well, that started the audience stuff, and then I'm like, okay, now this is hitting good.
But he did make a reference as to why. This is the kind of shit I wrote during the pandemic or the shutdown.
Well, yeah, that's
so it was like, okay,
so it wasn't good.
Yeah, exactly. So he knew. But when he talked about Joe Rogan, and people were like, ooh, and he was like, hey. He's like, I know him. He got crazy because of the money. Whether or not that's true, I don't know. But I feel like when I hear comedians talk about other comedians, I'm curious about that. Like, where do you stand on that? Because when I heard about Rob Schneider's comments about being a MAGA supporter.
Oh, I must have missed this.
Yeah, he said something on a podcast or something where he would pretty much die for his beliefs for Donald Trump, or just the way maybe it was taken out of context. I don't know, but that's what it kind of came off. I should have done my research.
Your research, yeah. We're spreading misinformation here.
But that's what I heard, that he was standing on this MAGA hill, and I was like, Rob Schneider, really? And it bothered me. But ever since, I have not heard. I listened to that podcast with Dana Carvey and David Spade, and they have not said a negative thing. Even when they've brought him up, they continue to speak of him in like a positive light. And I mean,
if you're still being a good person to other humans, then, you might be conflicted in your brain about how these two things match up, but... I'm kind of in the same boat. I don't think we should be persecuting them for their beliefs either, unless they're imposing it upon us and causing troubles and stuff like that. So all of this canceling people because you don't like what they said, I may disagree with them too, but I don't think they should be getting fired and all this shit for it. But that's just me, maybe. But it's just like, you wouldn't want that happening to you.
Yeah. And see, I even kind of made that
take. Don't get me wrong, but like.
And I had made that assessment on my own. I can't remember what I had watched or what I had seen, but it was essentially that same conflict where I know I have some friends who are more right, conservative leaning than I am, and
isn't necessarily a problem.
I've never felt like I get where Patton was coming from in that moment, because I was like, I've got those friends too. They're good people. We just differ on politics, but that doesn't detract from us being friends. We don't talk about it. We know where our differences stand, but we have a history of so many other things that's not going to tear us apart. That's separate. And I feel like if we could get back on that level in the world.
Well, we also just need to get to a place where we don't feel like that has to be the topic of conversation at every get together.
Sure.
That's kind of overtaken the conversations at any dinner table, friends or family. It doesn't matter, because it's just been so pushed on us and overblown and all this stuff over the years that for some reason that's the topic that just always seems to happen. And I think we just need to stop talking about it.
Yeah. So it was...
Go into the voting booth, do your thing, and outside of that, let's just talk about other shit.
Yeah. We can all disagree about something, but I also feel like some of us have those friends. We love them to death, but we know that we're not going to agree on this one thing.
To some of them. You can't help it.
And
they probably think the same about me, though.
Yeah.
To be fair, they're probably like... even though I'm not liberal per se, but my friend liberal niece or my, whatever up there. And okay, they probably say the same about me, and it's just what life is.
But to your point, like you said, you're not pushing your beliefs onto them and vice versa. No. So you get along.
Unless it gets brought up, which always seems to do, but I don't feel like I'm pushing. I'm just kind of I disagree because of this, but.
That's it. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Anyway.
Games. So anyway, yeah. Do you have anything else?
I just wanted to complain about the new GPU prices that I saw coming out of NVIDIA, because I was a little hoping that maybe with the chip shortage not being such a shortage and everything that we would start to kind of see them come back down, but it seems like they're starting to enjoy the high prices and it's just going to stay there.
Yeah.
Because they put out the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4080 and 4090 graphics cards, which are coming out $899 and $1599 respectively. Brand spanking new. We're no longer seeing a $599 or a $699 MSRP, and I'm like, sad panda. Does look cool though. I should send you the video, because I don't know if it's worth the extra $100. I don't know. If you've been buying a GPU over the last couple of years, this probably just looks normal now, honestly.
Yeah.
This is the prices we've been seeing because of the chip shortage and everything. So I don't know. But man, when I was watching the side-by-side of it being able to turn the RTX on in games that didn't have it and putting all this other extra graphical stuff on it, and I'm like, yeah, that does look pretty sweet. Not going to lie. But man, that power draw, you're going to pay a lot more in energy too if you're a long haul gamer, because 600 watts.
Wow.
Right, is what it needs. And the regular 4090 was 450, and the RTX, or 4080, I'm sorry, and then the 4090 was 60 watts, and I was 600 watts, and I was like, Jesus Christ. So you might even need a new power supply depending on what you got packing right now, because I know some people stopped at 550 for power supplies. I'm like, yeah, you're gonna have a bad time. You're gonna need a new one of those, because it's not even gonna run your card. That's it, just the card. I mean, the rest of your components don't need that much, but holy balls, man.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Even when I got this one, it pulls a lot more, and it was kind of crazy to me, and it's not 600.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So yeah, I just wanted to complain about that. I'm like, damn it. We're not going to try to go back to sort of what the prices were before all of this hit, but no. So I guess if you've been holding out and you can afford it, there you go. They do look good, but... I was like, shortage over. Hurrah!
Hurrah!
Wait, how much you want now? Yikes. Okay, so, oof. Graphic cards, I guess, are just going to be expensive for the rest of our lives.
Since I don't want to disappoint our siblings or anything, I do have another game-related topic that I completely forgot about.
Talking about games, let's do that.
Oh, my God. So, IGN, I don't know if you saw this or not, but they had a hands-on preview with the PSVR 2.
I didn't see the whole thing, but yes, tell me about it.
So from what I saw, they said that the picture I guess, or the view. I get picture. Is that the accurate term? Your
For the
visuals
lenses or whatever
within
for each screen, or
high def 4K.
Each lens gets its own, supposedly, right?
Gets its own 2160 per eye, I think. So it's high def quality, like 4K, just beautiful graphics. The way the face or the headset sits on your face, it looked like it had this plush
a little bit
mesh
more.
or something, like it pushes it into your face. But the guy said he never once had the wind, or what do you call
What
it?
if it's like a memory foam where you get like
Yeah.
the face? I got that all the time with my Rift.
Yeah.
Because if you have to pull it a little tighter and you take it off and you look like, the imprint around your eyes of the VR headset
Right.
is there for a minute or so. Yeah.
Well, he was saying that it sat comfortably. You didn't have the tunnel vision or the wall vision or whatever. Like it had
Screens come
yeah,
around.
all
peripherally.
encompassed your face, so you never had that. He said it's very, very comfortable. The haptic feedbacks is kind of intuitive,
Seems
kind
cool.
of nice. There were a few things that he kind of, had some issues with. I'm trying to remember specifically, but it felt like it was one of those, oh man, you really need to kind of improve on that because we don't need this problem again that we had with
Oh, God. I
the
hope it wasn't
original.
anything to do with the sensors.
I think it had something to do. He said they were very intuitive, but there were moments where it was lagging here and there, or you kind of get lost in things, or maybe the controls, as intuitive as they are with like your finger motions. I think that was another thing he mentioned where
Oh, yeah.
you had
Is there
finger motions
sensors
with
around
that.
there?
They did not respond as intuitive as you would kind of hope.
Oh, bummer. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of what they're trying to do with that. That's the whole
Exactly.
new niche, right?
But again, this is early hands-on preview, so maybe they've got time to improve on it.
Did they say anything about the screen door effect?
That's what I was trying to talk about. The screen door
Oh,
effect. He said no screen door effect. Yeah, that's what I was excited to hear.
always my big sticking point still, but of course I've not upgraded since the OG Rift, so I would imagine a lot of things. But yeah, cool. All
Yeah,
right,
that was when I heard him say that, I was like, all right, okay, now you've got my attention,
Yeah.
and I'm that I think is one of the bigger selling points for me is I don't want that because
it strains the eyes after a while. It really does.
Because if you've ever been in a headset, a VR headset with none of that, oh my God. It's
I
just
don't know that I have.
one time
Even
I have.
when I tried the new, I think it's already discontinued, though. There was another Rift, the Rift S. Yes. That's when we were in PAX, right?
Yeah,
And I went
yeah.
in there and tried that. And it was a lot better. Don't get me wrong. It was a lot better, but not none.
Yeah.
But not zero. Yeah.
No, whichever one that I tried, or at least it, by comparison to the PSVR, which is all that I was accustomed to, the other one that I got into, I don't remember if it was a Rift or what's the other one?
Valve has the Index.
No.
Then Oculus had the Rift, and then HPE had one too. It was probably that one.
Whatever. It was
'Cause
one
I
of
feel
the.
like that was the other popular one too. Vaz, where you at? I need your help.
Yeah, it was one of those
He's
two.
my VR guru.
Not the Rift. I don't think it was a Rift. The other one. It was really impressive because it was wireless.
Reverb?
Maybe. I don't know. It's one of them things. I don't remember stuff. Okay.
Okay.
But it was a whole room set
It
up
was a
with
PC one though.
wireless. Just oh man, I could like that's what
Wireless?
I want.
It had
Yeah.
to be the Oculus then.
Okay,
because
it might have
they're
been,
the
might
ones that
have
has the Quest, right?
Quest,
The
Quest.
Quest is the cordless. Yeah.
Whatever. It's one of them. It's wireless.
I was trying to if it was on a PC, I can give you these options. If you're on PlayStation, you know what you got.
Yeah, I'm
So
sure
you
I
just said
talked
cordless.
about it.
I'm like, I know what you were playing.
I'm
It
sure I
wasn't
talked
bad.
about
I've tried
it.
the Quest. It wasn't bad either.
So, will I buy a PSVR 2? Yes. Will I do it immediately? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I know I want to enjoy it. I know I will
wanna
enjoy
get in
it,
first.
but it's niche, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's still definitely not. I've seen a lot more. I think it's starting to come up a lot more, and I could just be saying that from the circles that I run in, or who knows if it's going to continue that way. It does seem that a lot of VR developers are starting to find cooler ways to implement some of these features and make them more rich within the environment. So as the technology is getting better, so will it be all the way there by this? No, because it's still kind of older technology, but good for the PlayStation. It was all the things that I said PlayStation needed to do. And so I was really kind of surprised that it all came out that way, you know? Once we go cordless, then it would probably be perfect. But I always said, outside out cameras, get rid of that frickin' eye, get some better controllers, you know, and do not lose the design, because it was the most comfortable, lightweight headset of all of them that I've tried. So, yay. That's why I'm excited. You know, it seems like they took all that feedback, did what they could with the technology we have available that'll work good with the PlayStation 5. And then we'll have to see a price point, I guess.
$4.99 is what I keep hearing.
I know that if it was going to be about the same price as the console.
Yeah, I know that's not definitive, and no one has said that 100%, but that's the rumor floating around.
I can see that. I can see that, honestly.
I'd believe it too, because I think
that's about the same price as other VR. Honestly.
Yeah, the other one was equal to the PlayStation 3 or the PlayStation 4. I mean, so
well, I got it for $250, but I got it much later after it came out, so I probably found a good deal. But yeah, that sounds about right. And I mean, most VR headsets are going for $499. I mean, even the Quest is upping their price $100. It's going to be the same price as. I mean, Valve is still a little higher, but $499 seems to be about that.
Yeah.
That spot that you're going to be playing roughly around there, $300 to even $1,000, depending on what you want.
But I'm excited for it. I can't wait to check it out. I kind of wish that there was a way I could demo it, but.
Right. That's my only thing is, well, I mean, you can't just go into Best Buys anymore and try these things like you used to. Or maybe you can. It's been a while.
Do you want to, though, in the day of COVID?
Did we ever? I was always kind of weird about putting crap on my face that other people had, you know, because just everyone's clean in their own way.
Yeah.
I mean, now maybe there's that little extra added layer of, but like, I always kind of thought it was gross that we would go to cons and just
stick our faces and hands all over shit.
Stick our faces in the same shit everybody else did all day long, you know? So, which is why you always got the con crud even before COVID, you know? Everyone always came home with something because we're sharing all our germs. But, yeah, no, I'm definitely excited. I want to see what marquee launch games that they're going to have coming out with it. I've seen a few, you know, that they were planning on. But, yeah. I'm
intrigued.
But I'm with you. I would love to be able to try it first before I commit to that price point.
I'm really hoping they'll port over some of the other games. I know that we were talking about that, too. And
yeah, they'd have to actively work on it and develop it. Yeah.
Yeah, I really hope that could be a possibility, because there are a lot of great VR games that could be so much better.
Oh God!
If they had this system and implemented with that, oh my God! I mean, so I don't know what it would take.
Go back to Blood and Truth and that London Heist. Those are some of my favorite VR games. If you make me feel like John Wick and I'm in some action game, it's so much fun. Now, imagine if I'm grabbing my gun off my back and I get it every time.
Right?
Not just having to turn my back to the camera so I could try to grab my gun again, you know? So, yeah, I really hope they will do all of that. I really do.
And I mean, it doesn't have to be all of them. It doesn't have to be all of them. Just some of the really good, like I mentioned, Iron Man, Blood and Truth would be a good one. I'm sure there are others that are slipping my mind at the moment, but I know No Man's Sky is getting it.
No Man's Sky. Yeah. So, yeah. I haven't played it, obviously, but yeah, it's getting some VR love.
And
I think it'll be fun.
That would be the time I think I might actually try it out. I know I've got it, like I could do it right now with the original, but I feel like stepping into it with something better, you know?
Right, better insides, a better system. Yeah.
I might do that, like if I know that I'm going to get the 2 at some point, I might just check it out as a fluke. You know, just set it up.
Just see what the experience is kind
like the original, see what it looks like, and then have comparison to the 2. Because you think about it, that would be a great way to see the difference.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, because I kind of packed mine up, I think, the last couple times I tried to play it, it was just way too frustrating. Where I was just like, I can't even get into this anymore.
And I hate to let it collect dust too. That's an expensive toy.
It was, yeah. Like I said, I know mine was a little cheaper, but still, $250 ain't nothing.
And you don't do anything with it? I mean, come on.
Yeah, I think the hubs used it a little bit longer after I did even, but it sat there for a while. Especially since we've gotten the PlayStation 5. I don't think we've ever even tried to plug it into the 5 or anything.
Yeah.
So
It's a shame.
It would work,
it's a shame.
Yeah, it is. But they tried, and unfortunately, it wasn't amazing. And I even knew better when I was buying it because of the sticks, as the controllers and the eye and all that kind of stuff. But I still had fun with it. Mm-hmm. And now we can see it could be better. And we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see once we actually get it into practice. But I don't know. Did you have anything, or should we wrap it up? I don't know. It's hour 45. We've been...
I think we could wrap it up. I think we've talked enough games.
Maybe not as just nonsense. We did a little game.
60-40 this week. We did all right.
We did all right. Yeah. So, but next week, I'll play some more games or something. We'll discuss the whole Deathloop thing. We'll see what we're doing. Anyway, that's our show.
Woo!
There you go. You can hit us up sometime on Twitter at Super Mega Crash, or go to Instagram to view the weekly icon art Steven puts his time and love into. And you can send us an email to supermegacrash@gmail.com. And you can support the show by liking and leaving reviews on your preferred podcast app, and even going to patreon.com/Pencil and Paper Productions. And if you want more content, head over to youtube.com/Pencil and Paper Productions for more. And we're getting better at Discord. You can help make us better by joining and coming on over and chatting with us. Links are in the description below. Looked like you were about to say something.
No. I'm excited for all these people to join us on Discord because we're having a lot of good conversations over there. Come on. Join us.
We're starting to get good at it. But anyway, thank you for listening. I am Lacey Finley.
I am Stephen White, and I want to throw out one other thing real quick. More Sonic the Hedgehog 2 listeners in the last few days. Just wanted to bring this up. Went up at least 20 views since the last I checked. So...
Okay, Sonic 2 Hour it is.
So
you got it, baby.
The Sonic Minute is a thing now.
You can join us next time, Sonic Mega Crash Brothers. All right, siblings, we love you. You can join us the next time, but until then,
game on.
This has been a Pencil and Paper Podcast Network production.